and I have to still say allegedly, has done things and allegedly participated in a lot of things that the public would not be happy to know.
Ain't nobody around to tell them what to do, and they just get to act a fool. Free Beyonce. She a prisoner.
It's the kind of headline that stops people in their tracks. Has one of the biggest names in entertainment, Jay-Z, actually fled the country amidst mounting legal troubles. The rumor mill is spinning legal troubles. The rumor mill is spinning wildly, and the whispers about his whereabouts are only adding fuel to the fire. Some claim he's holed up in a private villa in an undisclosed location, while others are speculating he might be laying low in Europe or even the Caribbean. Whatever the case may be, the timing of this supposed escape couldn't be more suspicious, coming on the heels of some of the most serious allegations of his career. But why would a man worth hundreds of millions, with everything to lose, risk being labeled a fugitive? Let's dive into the swirling drama and unpack what's really going on.
After they are done with Diddy, Jay-Z is up next to be exposed, right?
At the center of all this chaos is a shocking lawsuit filed against Sean Carter, better known to the world as Jay-Z. The lawsuit accuses him of participating in heinous acts at an exclusive after-party for the MTV Video Music Awards back in 2000. The accusations don't stop with him either. Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs is also named in the civil suit, making this one of the most high-profile legal cases in recent memory. The lawsuit, filed under New York's Victims of Gender-Motivated Violence Protection Act, paints a disturbing picture of what allegedly occurred that night. The accuser, referred to only as Jane Doe to protect her identity, claims she was just a young teenager at the time of the incident. According to the lawsuit, she was lured to the party by a limousine driver who allegedly worked for Combs. Once there, she says she was coerced into signing a document that appeared to be a non-disclosure agreement, served a drink that left her feeling disoriented, and ultimately subjected to horrifying acts in a private room.
And we do have some breaking news that we want to bring to you. It was being reported by TMZ and now Fox News. We are learning that Jay-Z is accused of a 13-year-old girl. That is new in the Diddy lawsuit.
The details are grim, with the accusations pointing to both Carter and Combs as perpetrators. The lawsuit alleges that Carter initiated the assault while Combs and another unnamed celebrity looked on, and that the roles then reversed. Jane Doe claims she managed to escape the scene, running to a nearby gas station where she called her father for help. These allegations alone would be enough to send shockwaves through the entertainment world. But the story takes an even stranger turn when you consider the timeline of events.
This morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he sexually assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was sexually assaulted by both men at a video.
The lawsuit was initially filed in October, naming Combs as the primary defendant. But just last weekend, it was refiled to include Carter, raising eyebrows across the board. And here's the kicker. Carter claims that before the lawsuit was amended, his legal team received a letter from the accuser's attorney, Tony Busby, requesting mediation. Mediation, in legal terms, often signals an attempt to settle out of court, a move that Carter found suspicious. In fact, he was so incensed by the request that he didn't just refuse. He filed a lawsuit of his own against Busby and his team, accusing them of harassment, and his team accusing them of harassment and blackmail. In a fiery statement released shortly after the lawsuit was refiled, Carter didn't mince words, expressing anger that such serious claims would be handled through civil court rather than criminal charges. This is not how justice is served, Carter wrote in his statement. These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? The statement prompted mixed reactions. To some, it was a bold and genuine defense from a man who feels wrongfully accused. To others, it came off as deflection, a way to turn the conversation away from the allegations themselves and onto the legal strategy of the accuser. And let's not forget the subtle undertone of intimidation in his words. Accusing the accuser's legal team of a shakedown could easily be interpreted as an attempt to undermine the credibility of the case before it even goes to court.
In a blistering statement, Jay-Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree?"
And then there's the timing of Carter's alleged disappearance. Rumors began circulating earlier this week that he had left the United States just as the refiled lawsuit started making headlines. While his legal team has yet to confirm or deny these rumors, speculation is rampant. Some insiders suggest that Carter may have left the country to avoid the inevitable media circus, while others believe he's trying to buy time to strategize his next move. After all, the court of public opinion can be just as brutal as a courtroom, and the longer Carter remains out of sight, the less scrutiny he faces, at least for now.
Now, with respect to the evidentiary value, yes, it happened 24 years ago, right? More than 24 years ago. But in the allegations, there's a few things. Number one, there's allegation that another celebrity was present at the time, right, in addition to other people. Number two, there's the claim by the victim, right, that she left, that she went and she was seen by a gas attendant who saw her in distress.
But there's also a very real possibility that Carter's alleged departure is part of a broader legal strategy. High-profile cases like this one are as much about optics as they are about facts, and staying away from the public eye could allow his legal team to control the narrative more effectively. By avoiding the paparazzi and the barrage of questions that would undoubtedly follow him everywhere, Carter can focus on building his defense without the added pressure of constant media attention. Still, the optics of fleeing the country don't exactly scream innocence, and it's a gamble that could backfire spectacularly if it's perceived as an admission of guilt.
Civil complaint, simply allegations, needs to be proven in a court of law, but if true, it could rise to the level of criminality, and, we'll see what happens or if the DA looks and investigates.
Adding another layer of complexity to the situation is Carter's decision to push for the accuser's identity to be revealed. His legal team has filed a motion asking the court to either dismiss the case outright or force Jane Doe to come forward publicly. The argument is that Carter deserves to know the identity of his accuser in order to mount a proper defense. But critics see this move as a classic tactic to intimidate and silence victims, particularly in cases involving powerful men. By forcing Jane Doe to reveal her identity, Carter's team could be hoping to discourage her from pursuing the case further, knowing full well the kind of backlash and scrutiny she would face if her name were made public.
Mr. Diddy, aka Mr. Love, now. Dr.
No,
Love.
Sean Carter.
Jay. Okay.
And let's not forget the wild card in all of this. Tony Busby, the attorney representing Jane Doe. Busby has a reputation for taking on high-profile cases and isn't afraid to ruffle feathers in the process. He's previously been accused of using lawsuits as a form of publicity, a claim that Carter himself alluded to in his statement. This lawyer, who I've done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these types of theatrics, Carter wrote. The pleading speaks for itself. This is a very serious matter that will be litigated in court. It's worth noting that Busby has faced his own share of controversies in recent months. Another anonymous celebrity recently filed a lawsuit against him, alleging that Busby attempted to extort money by threatening to file false allegations. Busby, for his part, denies these claims and has accused Carter of orchestrating a smear campaign against him. In a social media post addressing the situation, Busby wrote, "There has been a coordinated and aggressive effort to discredit me and my clients. But let me be clear, I will not be bullied or intimidated. The truth will come out."
If that's part of the indictment, that's someone like a blackmail. He was blackmailing people to be in the freak-offs. So that's federal. That could be that's a federal charge. He can't blackmail people to say, "Yo, listen here. You did it once and you're going to do it again." That ain't going to make it with the government or nobody.
So where does all of this leave Jay-Z? For now, he remains a polarizing figure caught in a storm of allegations, legal battles, and public scrutiny. His defenders argue that the timing of these accusations is highly suspect, especially given the lack of criminal charges. They point to his spotless criminal record over the past 2 decades as evidence that he's being unfairly targeted. His critics, however, see the lawsuit as part of a larger pattern of behavior that has gone unchecked for too long. And with Sean Diddy Combs also entangled in the case, the drama is only set to escalate further. As the story unfolds, one thing is clear. This is far from over. Jay-Z's alleged flight from the country has only added more layers to an already complex and controversial case, and the world will be watching closely to see how it all plays out. Will he return to face the music, or will the rumors of his escape turn into a full-blown scandal? And what does this mean for his legacy as one of the most influential figures in music and business? Only time will tell. For now, questions surrounding his actions and motives remain unanswered, leaving fans, critics, and the media hanging on every new development.
If the federal government wants him to cooperate and they're going to cut his time, because right now he's looking at 15 to life. With all the charges he won't get out till 70 years old. He about 70. That's when they start talking about letting him come to a halfway house. If he get the bare minimum. So now what he's going to do is,
just when you think the situation couldn't get any more explosive, the focus shifts to Sean Diddy Combs, who has been facing his own storm of accusations that seem to grow darker by the day. If you thought the Jay-Z allegations were shocking, Combs' legal troubles dive even deeper into a world of chaos, power plays, and conspiracy theories. From federal charges to whispers of long-buried scandals, the once untouchable mogul is now in a fight for his freedom, his reputation, and what's left of his empire.
All of that will be litigated in a court of law, but according to Jay-Z, this never happened, is pure fiction. It is a money grab, and he's fighting for his name, reputation, and certainly innocence and justice in his view, which is he didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, and you touch on a point, too, that I wanted to ask you about, which was that this was an amendment to this already existing lawsuit. What are people to take away from that, the fact that they're coming back and adding to this now with...
Sean Combs, often painted as the ultimate self-made success story, has seen his public image shift dramatically in recent months. Known for building an empire that stretches across music, fashion, and beverages, Combs was once the poster boy for turning hustle into a global brand. But now, his name is dominating headlines for all the wrong reasons. In September, Combs was hit with a stunning array of federal charges, including accusations of running an organized network designed to exploit those most vulnerable. He has been denied bail multiple times, leaving him confined to a detention center in Brooklyn as he awaits his trial, which is scheduled to begin in May. And the word on the street is that prosecutors aren't done with him yet. There's talk of a superseding indictment, meaning even more charges could be added to the already overwhelming list.
Live, a judge has denied bail for Sean Diddy Combs. Of course, this was the hip-hop mogul's latest bid for freedom as he remains in federal jail for his racketeering and trafficking case.
What's particularly eerie about the accusations against Combs is how they draw a stark contrast to his carefully curated public persona. For decades, Combs has portrayed himself as a man of love, positivity, and family values, even going so far as to legally change his middle name to Love. But behind the scenes, insiders have long whispered about a different side of him, a side that's now coming to light in court documents and witness testimonies. Federal prosecutors have painted a picture of a man who allegedly used his position and influence to control and manipulate those around him, creating an environment where people were too afraid to speak out. What's even more chilling is the growing number of reports suggesting that Combs maintained an intricate network of loyal enablers who allegedly helped shield his actions for years. Insiders claim that executives within his companies, bodyguards, and even close friends were aware of his alleged misconduct but turned a blind eye, either out of fear or self-interest. Some former employees have come forward anonymously, describing a culture of silence where speaking out meant career sabotage, or worse. This raises larger questions about the complicity of those who stood by and did nothing, and whether they too will face consequences as these legal battles unfold.
Wait a minute. Say that again. Say that again. Back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is...
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of.
But here's where things take an even stranger turn. Some are speculating that Combs might try to flee the country, much like the rumors surrounding jayz. After all, if the allegations are true, the consequences for Combs could be catastrophic, not just for his career, but for his freedom. And let's face it, Combs is no stranger to elaborate schemes. This is a man who once staged a $1 million birthday party on a private island, complete with yachts and fireworks. If anyone has the resources and connections to disappear, it's him. However, unlike jayz, Combs doesn't have the benefit of plausible deniability right now. He's already in custody, and his repeated attempts to secure bail have been denied, with prosecutors arguing that he poses a flight risk. So, for now, his every move is being closely monitored.
No, I'm not surprised by the ruling because, as she cited in her order, there are very serious allegations about the danger that he potentially poses to other witnesses and the public at large.
But let's rewind for a moment and consider how we got here. The lawsuits and criminal charges against Combs didn't just appear out of thin air. In fact, the cracks in his image have been visible for years, if you were paying attention. Over the past 2 decades, multiple allegations have surfaced, ranging from workplace misconduct to far more serious claims. Many of these accusations were quietly settled out of court, often disappearing as quickly as they emerged. But in today's cultural climate, where public figures are being held to greater accountability, it seems that the past is finally catching up with him. One of the most haunting aspects of the allegations against Combs is the sheer number of people who have come forward. In recent months, several lawsuits have been filed by individuals who claim they were harmed by his actions, many of them recounting eerily similar stories. Among these lawsuits is the high-profile case brought by Cassie Ventura, a former artist on Combs' record label and someone who was once thought to be one of his closest confidants. In her lawsuit, Ventura alleges years of mistreatment and control, describing a relationship that was far from the glamorous image portrayed in public. Her claims have sparked a wave of additional accusations, with others stepping forward to share their own stories.
Guys, we are lucky to have Precious Miora here, and she's been at the Diddy parties, and she's about to spill some.
But what makes this case even more complicated is the growing belief that Combs and Jay-Z are connected in ways that go beyond their music careers. For years, conspiracy theories have swirled around the two moguls, suggesting that they've acted as gatekeepers in the entertainment industry, wielding their power to control who rises and who falls. Some have even gone so far as to suggest that the current legal troubles facing both men are part of a larger reckoning within the industry, a long overdue exposure of the dark underbelly of fame and fortune. The idea of gatekeepers isn't new, but it takes on a chilling tone when applied to Combs and Jay-Z. Both men have built empires that extend far beyond music, influencing everything from fashion trends to political movements. They've been seen as pioneers, breaking barriers and creating opportunities for others to follow in their footsteps. But with great power comes great responsibility, or, in this case, the potential for great harm. Critics argue that their influence has allowed them to operate without accountability for far too long, creating an environment where abuses of power could flourish unchecked. And let's not forget the role of the media in all of this. For years, tabloids and gossip blogs had hinted at scandals involving Combs and Jay-Z, but these stories rarely gained traction in mainstream outlets. Why? Some say it's because the two men were simply too powerful to take on. Others believe that the media was complicit, turning a blind eye in exchange for exclusive access and lucrative advertising deals. Whatever the case may be, it's clear that the tide is turning. With social media giving a platform to voices that were once silenced, the truth, or at least some version of it, is finally coming to light.
Sean had to take responsibility for what he did as an individual. Sean is the one who pulled that gun out. Sean is the one who shot. So he has to take responsibility for that.
So what happens next? For Combs, the stakes couldn't be higher. His trial in May will undoubtedly be one of the most closely watched cases of the year, with legal experts predicting that it could set a precedent for how similar cases are handled in the future. If convicted, the consequences would be devastating, not just for him, but for everyone in his orbit. His business ventures, which include everything from a television network to a luxury tequila brand, could crumble overnight. And then there's the question of his legacy. Will he be remembered as a trailblazer who paved the way for others, or as a cautionary tale of how power corrupts? As for Jay-Z, his future remains uncertain. While the rumors of his escape have yet to be confirmed, the mere fact that they exist speaks volumes about the state of his career. Whether he's guilty or innocent, the allegations against him have already tarnished his reputation, making it difficult for even his most loyal fans to look at him the same way. And with his legal team fighting to keep the accuser's identity under wraps, it's clear that this battle is far from over.
Jay-Z got his whooped by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name? Solange. You got it. The feds ain't step in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting your whooped.
In the end, the scandals surrounding Combs and Jay-Z serve as a stark reminder of the complexities of fame and power. For years, they've been celebrated as symbols of success, their every move dissected and admired by millions. But now, the curtain has been pulled back, revealing a side of the entertainment industry that many would rather ignore. And while the truth may be messy and uncomfortable, it's a conversation that needs to happen. So, what do you think? Are Jay-Z and Sean Combs truly guilty of these shocking allegations, or are they being targeted in an elaborate scheme? And how might these scandals reshape the entertainment industry as we knew it? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The team wants to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more celebrity news and updates. Until next time,